Hey, Till the Last Credit here, coming at you with another podcast. This time we're talking about this year's Flash, Arrow, Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow crossover, which the title has just been revealed to be Crisis on Earth X. I'm Will, and I'm here with Dylan. Dylan, how you doing?
Bored talking about this.
Okay. And Miller. Miller, how you doing?
Good. I'm not gonna be rude like Dylan was.
Ha ha ha
ha.
What was that?
So, the CW and Warner Brothers and all the people affiliated with the DCTV shows announced today the plot of the crossover. Now, obviously, and they released a poster, and the poster looks really cool, and it's very, much like a comic book cover, which they do a lot for like the big episodes, like when the Jay Garrick episode in Flash Season 2 was getting ready to come out, they released the recreation of the Flash of Two Worlds. I think that's Flash 123. I don't know. Somebody in the comments will correct me if I'm wrong. So, yeah, they do this a lot with the mock-up comic book covers. This one looks really cool, and it's obviously meant to invoke a Crisis on Infinite Earths kind of feeling. I don't really think that this is going to be necessarily a Crisis on Infinite Earths. I think this is going to be much more like the DC animated film Crisis on Two Earths, where you're going to have the good Justice League and the bad Justice League from another Earth. Basically, they're adapting the Crisis on Earth 3 storyline, which was the first appearance of the Crime Syndicate of America.
I thought they were adapting like Crisis on Infinite Earths.
No, they're definitely not doing that. Because Crisis, Infinite Earths was a bunch of different versions of the characters, and this just seems to be, at least going from the poster, it just seems to be the good versions and the bad versions, which, like I said, is very much like the animated movie. Now, again, obviously, a lot of this is speculation based on just this poster, because that's right now all the information that we do have. Let's just go over real quick the poster. You have all the main characters around it, what's really interesting here is Wild Dog is included, which, if you've kept up with Arrow, which I just caught up with Arrow, Wild Dog's fate is left in the cliffhanger kind of ambiguous. So
that's true.
Yay, Wild Dog survives. Thanks for spoiling it before the season premiere.
I think they spoiled that before. They said he was gonna make it.
Okay.
Yeah, in an interview.
Noticeably absent though is Diggle. There is no Diggle, and there's no Felicity.
I think Felicity makes more sense than Diggle not to be there.
Fans can be hopeful. Why? Because Felicity's not a superhero.
Yeah, and I don't think Diggle. I don't think they kill Diggle off like they would, or I don't think they'll kill Diggle in the premiere.
Okay.
I don't feel like, maybe they would, but I don't think him not being on the poster is saying anything, because you can't just have a big fan favorite like that and be like, oh, he's not on the poster. Yeah, he's gonna die.
Right.
But I like the poster. I would have preferred. I think it would have been more interesting if it was done in that way, but it was still all live action.
And
I think that would
with
have been
CW's
cool.
budget, I think that it could end up being really bad. So
it could. Yeah, possibly.
I think I would have preferred it being drawn or whatever.
Yeah, but
I like the poster. I like the poster.
Oh, you mean the poster itself would have been really bad?
What?
Do you mean the poster itself would have been really bad if it was live action?
Yeah, if it was live action,
okay.
yeah, it definitely would have been fucking terrible, because CW is not known for having the greatest posters. But I really like the poster. I think the poster's really cool. It's one of the best posters to come out of the DC TV CW verse. But I'm not excited for the crossover at all. These fucking crossovers always let me down every single time. I really liked the crossover they did in the second season of Flash, I think. But I
The Hawkman and
the-
Hawkgirl one.
Yeah, I think so. And then the third season, the really big one, I thought I really did not like it. It was just bland. It was just so predictable, and just having them fight, I thought that was the stupidest thing ever. And I mean, the CGI was horrible, and blah blah blah. But now they're doing another really big thing again with Crisis on Earth X or whatever, and I don't know. I'll probably be let down again. I don't really care about these CW shows much anymore, anyways. So.
I don't know exactly what you're expecting from these shows, from these crossovers, because I think, in all honesty, that like the crossovers, even if the season sucks, the crossover is the best episode of the season. Like for me, like the crossover on Arrow season 4, the Legends of Tomorrow setup crossover, that's the best episode of season 4 Arrow for me. Which I mean doesn't say a whole lot because that season of Arrow was shitty, but you know I felt like the crossover was good. And I liked Invasion. My biggest pet peeve about Invasion was they did the Arrow 100th episode in the middle. So the alien storyline kind of stops dead, so you can have this like Arrow, you know, nostalgia. You know. And it doesn't. Your crossover doesn't have to be the same week every year. It doesn't have to be week 8. They could have done the crossover another week to avoid that 100th episode thing. But that was really my only criticism of that was that the story stops dead, so we can be like, oh, Arrow's been around for 100 episodes, yay! But we don't have that this year. There are no anniversary shows this year. So I mean, I'm looking forward to this, and I think it'll be. I'm really interested in seeing how they do the quote unquote crime syndicate in this version, and we also know that that this isn't just. Like in the comics and in the animated movie, it's basically just, oh, look, it's opposite world, you know? But this version will actually have a reason why all the superheroes are evil, because they're on an Earth where Nazis won World War II. And I think that's a really interesting aspect. And it actually
people are going to get offended.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to happen, obviously, but whatever. I just
Unless
think
they
that
change it, they could just change it to like it's just an evil world or something.
They probably will. Yeah.
They're actually like that's the plot of the show is that it's.
Oh, they said that.
Yeah. That much they've said, and it's gonna tie into the Ray animated movie, which takes place on Earth X and is about the Ray fighting the Nazi superheroes.
I think what does look really cool, although I mean it could look totally trash in the show, is the villains as costumes. They look really cool, like Reverse Flash or Flash's evil costume and then Supergirl's evil costume. They all look really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. The only thing that I would say is a little bit disappointing is the evil Arrow costume, because that's just his costume with him wearing a mask, like a full face like mask. Like they didn't do anything really special with his costume. But yeah, I agree. Supergirl looks awesome. The Flash looks awesome. And if you pay attention to the very bottom of the poster of the main picture, that looks like Barry and Iris are getting married to me.
Yeah, I thought that was obvious.
Wasn't that the plot?
Yeah. Oh, well, that much I don't know.
Okay, I thought that was in the plot.
Okay, it might have been. I know about the Nazi thing, but so I'm kind of excited for that just because I'm getting tired of the whole on again off again thing that they've been doing with Barry and Iris. You know, even last year to the point where Barry broke up with Iris because he thought that would change the future or whatever dumbness. Oh my God, last year of The Flash was really bad. But
I kind of like that. I thought that was kind of ballsy. Like they weren't going to commit.
Arrow got better.
Yeah, Arrow did get better.
But what were you gonna say? You thought it was kind of ballsy that they did that?
I thought that was, well, I like the idea of, or maybe it was that, or that he proposed, like, she thought he proposed to her just because of that. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. That was interesting. But then when he goes and breaks up with her because, reasons, I thought that was a little dumb. But
yeah, like
whatever.
Flash last year was kind of like, it kept like making decisions, but kept like backpedaling on them.
Which that's something that honestly, and I know we're not talking about the Flash in general, but that's something that I really hope they move away from. They got to move away from Barry trying to fix everything and fucking everything up, because he's been doing that since day one. And after 3 years of that, it's kind of getting old, It's almost like, dude, have you learned how to be a superhero, like, at all?
Yeah.
But, back to the crossover, I'm really looking forward to them, getting married, and hopefully they can move the character forward. Because that's one thing, Barry Allen hasn't really had much of a character arc. He's not much different now than the character he was in season 1, which I always thought was kind of interesting when he was chastising Wally for being, inexperienced and making bad decisions. And it's like, dude, you've been doing this for 3 years and you're still fucking shit up. But yeah, so any final thoughts? Anything you want or are hoping for out of this crossover?
Cisco
I'm hopeful. I agree.
I don't see Vibe. Does anybody see Vibe on this poster?
Yeah, he's on.
Good.
He's on it.
Oh, is he?
Buck.
He's hard to see, but he's on it.
Oh, there he is down at the bottom. Okay, got it.
Oh, you got me excited for a second.
But yeah, I'm hopeful. I hope it'll be good, but I don't really care.
Okay, well, I can always... Go ahead, Miller.
I think it'll be... I'm just curious to see what the scale is, because, like, they could go, like, really crazy with this. And, like, to their credit, they have done a lot of stuff, but I'm just not exactly sure, like, what kind of interpretation they're going for with this.
Well, and the crossover has gotten, bigger scale every year.
Yeah.
So I think they're definitely trying to top what they did last year. I'm just looking forward to it. Like I said, the crossover is the one thing that I always look forward to every year, that I'm like, yes, even if the whole season sucks, I know these 4 episodes are going to be good. Which brings me back to another point, okay? Warner Brothers really needs to start releasing this thing as a standalone Blu-ray release, because it was really annoying that they only put the episodes this year on the DVD sets they belong in, especially last year when they put both on, they put the whole story on Flash and Arrow sets.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really annoying. And they would make so much money if they would just do that. Just, have the crossover around Christmas, and then November whenever they do it, and then a couple of months later, just release it by itself on a Blu-ray disc, and then, do whatever you want to with the season sets. I know I would buy it. Yeah. All right, well, those are our thoughts on the reveal of the Crisis on Earth X crossover. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments section below. Be sure to check us out at tillthelastcredit.com, at tillthelastcred on Twitter, and tillthelastcredit on Facebook. Thanks for listening, and have a nice day.